There's something magical about the moment we open our holiday decor boxes each year, those familiar ornaments, textures, and colors that bring back memories of family gatherings, snowy mornings, and twinkling farmhouse lights. Today, we're diving into DIY antique-inspired Christmas ornaments, a trending idea in farmhouse Christmas decor and vintage holiday crafts. If you've been yearning for a more meaningful, handmade Christmas with authentic charm, stay with me, because what we're creating today is not just decor, but nostalgia you can hold in your hands. Walk into any store today and you'll see rows of shiny mass-produced ornaments, pretty, but missing the soul that handmade pieces carry. That's why vintage-inspired ornaments are exploding in popularity across YouTube DIY, home decor, and Christmas crafts for adult searches. These ornaments aren't just beautiful, they tell stories. And by the end of this video, you'll have several designs that look like they were passed down through generations. What I love most about farmhouse DIY projects is how accessible they are. You don't need anything fancy: clear craft ornaments, matte chalk paint, old book pages, twine, decoupage glue, and maybe a few thrift store finds. These affordable materials are perfect for those of us seeking budget-friendly Christmas decor without sacrificing character. And don't worry, every step is beginner-friendly. Before we start crafting, let's settle on color tones. The most searched palettes for Farmhouse Christmas are antique gold, cream, weathered white, sage green, and rustic bronze. These muted colors soften any tree and blend beautifully with garlands and vintage lanterns. Think heirloom elegance, the kind that looks warm and worn, not shiny and new. When I was little, I remember my grandmother opening a wooden trunk at Christmas time. Inside were delicate, faded ornaments wrapped in old tissue paper. Their soft patina came from decades of love, not factory perfection. Today's first DIY ornament recreates that antique aesthetic, and trust me, the results feel like stepping straight into a treasured memory. Start with a clear ornament and swirl a mixture of chalk paint and baking soda inside. This gives it that slightly textured, matte look found on authentic antiques. Add a touch of gold rub and buff to the edges, and suddenly you have a piece that looks like it's been adorning farmhouse Christmas trees since the 1930s. It's simple, elegant, and incredibly expensive looking. If you're a lover of books or sentimental heirlooms, you'll adore this next design. Tear small strips of old book pages, preferably ones with soft yellowed edges, and decoupage them onto an ornament. Smooth them carefully with glue, let it dry, and you'll have a vintage literary ornament perfect for cozy farmhouse decor. Bonus tip: use pages from an old cookbook for a fun kitchen-themed tree. Antique ornaments often include touches of lace, frayed fabric, or delicate trims. Wrap a thin band of vintage lace around the ornament's middle and secure it with decoupage glue. If you have fabric scraps, especially from old curtains or thrifted linens, use them too. These small touches add depth and appeal, making your ornament look truly one of a kind. To elevate your ornament further, consider attaching tiny bells, bronze keys, or metal charms. These little add-ons align perfectly with Farmhouse Rustic decor searches and bring in that old-world charm. Look for items with a slightly tarnished finish, nothing too shiny. The more imperfect, the better for that authentic vintage look. Last year, I found a small tin box of mismatched ornaments in a thrift shop. Most people would have passed them by, but their faded colors and worn edges spoke to me. They taught me something important: beauty doesn't come from perfection, it comes from history. When you craft these ornaments, you're creating tomorrow's heirlooms, pieces your children or grandchildren will cherish. Let's move into a more polished antique look, the popular Mercury glass ornament. Mix equal parts vinegar and water, lightly mist the inside of your clear ornament, then add a few drops of metallic spray paint. Swirl it around and let it dry between layers. The mottled, speckled finish looks incredibly high-end and pairs perfectly with farmhouse wreaths and mantel decor. This idea makes a beautiful gift. Print a black and white family photo on thin paper and use decoupage glue to apply it onto your ornament. Add a border of frayed linen or muted ribbon, and suddenly the ornament tells a story. These personalized Christmas ornaments trend well every year, and they never fail to tug at the heartstring. Swap modern shiny ribbon for tea-stained cotton ribbon or simple jute twine. These materials add that cozy cottage-style feel trending in farmhouse Christmas decor. Want an added tip? Drag your ribbon lightly across a damp tea bag to instantly give it a worn, romantic tone without waiting days for natural aging. To make your ornaments feel time-worn, use sandpaper or a dry brushing technique to gently distress edges and surfaces. Light strokes will mimic natural aging, just like heirlooms stored in old cedar chests. This technique works especially well for chalk-painted ornaments and instantly elevates the look from homemade to high-end vintage. For a snowy look, brush glue onto the lower half of your ornament and sprinkle with faux snow or Epsom salt. The texture resembles sparkling frost on old farmhouse windows. Add a bit of twine and a tiny pine cone, and you've got a winter-themed delight that works beautifully in rustic winter decor displays. Once your ornaments are finished, be intentional about where you place them. Cluster antique-inspired ornaments on the tree's inner branches for depth. Pair them with vintage bells, wooden garlands, lanterns, and soft warm lights for a curated farmhouse look. A tip from professional decorators: layer textures, not colors. It creates harmony without overwhelming the eye. As we age, the holidays become less about the chaos and more about the moments that matter. Many viewers tell me these DIYs bring peace, joy, and creativity back into their Christmas season. When you take the time to craft by hand, you're not just decorating, you're honoring memories, expressing love, and creating something meaningful for your home. You've just learned how to create your own collection of DIY antique-inspired Christmas ornaments, each with its own history and heart. Whether you craft them for yourself or to gift loved ones, these pieces add warmth and authenticity to your farmhouse holiday decor. If you love this project, don't forget to like and subscribe for more long-form DIY, home decor tips, and vintage-inspired crafts. Your heirloom Christmas starts today.